So guys, in the second lecture of this organic chemistry, we are going to study nomenclature of organic compounds. How we can assign names to the organic compounds. This is very important lecture because from this lecture you can understand the naming of organic compounds. Now we are going to start rules for nomenclature. Rules for nomenclature. There are certain rules which have been fixed by IUPAC system of nomenclature. Rules for nomenclature. Rules for nomenclature by IUPAC system. IUPAC system, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, has designed certain rules to assign names to different organic compounds. Now the rules are first rule. Rule number one. Rule number one. Naming of organic compounds. Nomenclature of organic compounds will take 3 or 4 lectures. After that we will start directly GOC. Now rule number one is, first we have to select the longest carbon chain. Select longest carbon chain. Rule number one is select longest carbon chain. Longest carbon chain we have to select. This is rule number one. Select longest carbon chain. Select longest carbon chain. This is rule number one. By longest carbon chain we mean that carbon chain with maximum number of substituents. Carbon chain with maximum number of substituents. These substituents, they are also called locants. They are also called locants. Longest with maximum number of substituents are locants or side chains. We have to consider that longest chain which has maximum number of substituents, locants or side chains. We have to select that longest possible chain which has maximum number of locants, substituents or side chains. For example, if we have a carbon chain like this, and we have over here we have carbon over here, and we have carbon over here, we have carbon over here, we have carbon over here. Then we have to select first longest possible chain. Now which one is the longest possible chain? Now see this chain, it contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carbon atoms. This chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carbon atoms. This chain contains 7 carbon atoms. This chain also contains 7 carbon atoms. Now let us take this chain. It contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 carbon atoms. Carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4, carbon 5, carbon 6, carbon 7. If I select this chain as the longest chain, if I select this chain as the longest chain, I have selected this chain as the longest chain. Now how many substituents are there on this chain? This is substituent, one more substituent carbon. How many substituents? This is one substituent, that's one side chain. This is second side chain. This is third side chain, and this is fourth side chain. This longest chain of 7 carbon atoms contains how many side chains? It contains 4 side chains. It contains 4 side chains. If I draw this molecule again, carbon, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And over here we have carbon, over here we have carbon, and we have carbon over here, we have carbon over here. Now see, if I select this chain as the longest possible carbon chain, if I select this chain, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is also a 7 carbon chain. This is also 7 carbon chain. This is 7 carbon chain. 7 carbon chain plus 4 side chains. It has 4 side chains. And this is also 7 carbon chain. But it has 1 and 2 side chains. Now what we have to consider by first rule, longest carbon chain with maximum number of side chains. Therefore this cannot be considered as a parent chain. This cannot be considered as a parent carbon chain because it has less number of substituents, it has less number of locants, it has less number of side chains. hence this can be considered as a parent chain. This is rule number first. So rule number first states that we have to select longest possible carbon chain which has maximum number of side chains. Longest possible carbon chain with maximum number of side chains. Therefore rule number first, if we summarize, it is like this. That is longest carbon chain plus maximum side chains. Maximum side chains, that's maximum substituents, that's maximum locants. Rule number second, numbering of chain. Rule number second. Now we have selected a longest possible chain. In rule number second, we will discuss how to number the longest possible chain. Why do we number the chain? Numbering is done to assign the position of substituents and functional groups. Now what are functional groups? We will see in this lecture. We will see what are these functional groups and what they stand for. Numbering is done. We number the chain in order to assign the position of substituents or functional groups. So numbering is to be done from that side. Numbering is done from that side so that the substituent gets lowest possible number. Substituent should get lowest possible number. For example, we have a carbon chain, carbon. Now over here we have one more carbon. Over here we have CH3 group, and over here we have CH2CH3 group. Now we have to select the longest chain first. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. These are both same chains, and if we consider this chain, there are two side chains. Therefore consider this chain. Consider this chain as the parent chain. Now numbering is done from that side in which the substituent bears lowest number. This is our substituent or locant or side chain. This is our substituent or locant or side chain. If we number the chain from this side, 1 2 3 4 5 6, our substituent is getting number 3. And if we number the chain from this side, 1 2 3 4 5 6, substituent is getting number 2. Therefore we have to number this chain from this side, so that the substituent, the side chain, the substituent, the locant gets minimum possible number. Therefore this numbering is preferred. This gets lowest possible number. Now there is a rule called the lowest sum rule that's not used nowadays. That was used before, lowest sum rule. Therefore you should not remember that rule. That rule was used before 1991. Now that rule is not used. Now why do we number the chain? We number the chain to assign the position to the substituent, to the locant, to the side chain. That's why we number the chain. The substituent should get lowest possible number. Now rule number third. This rule is also known as lowest locant rule. Lowest locant rule. By lowest locant rule we mean that the locant should get, the locant or substituent should get lowest possible number. Should get lowest possible number. It should get lowest possible number. For example, if we have carbon, over here we have CH2CH3, and over here we have CH3, and over here we have CH3. Now we can number this chain. We have one more carbon atom. We can number this chain from this side. If we number from this side 1 2 3, substituent gets 3 number. If we number from this side 1 and 2, substituent gets 2 number. Therefore numbering is to be done from this side. Numbering of the chain is to be done from this side. Now how we name this, we will see it later in the examples once we discuss all concepts based on nomenclature of organic compounds, based on rules of nomenclature. Now number third rule is, you have to remember only three rules. Number third rule is prefix rule. Number third is prefix rule. This is number third rule, prefix rule. Let us take examples. Carbon, 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 carbon and carbon. Over here we have chlorine, we have bromine over here. Now see, let us take one more example. Carbon, carbon, carbon and carbon. Over here we have ethyl group C2H5O. Or we have methyl group over here, and here we have, for example, ethyl group C2H5, CH2, CH3. Now CH2, CH3 over here we have. Now see what we do. Since if we number this chain from this side, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, substituent to get us number 2. And if we name if we number this chain from this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, substituent also gets number 2. Therefore, there is competition. Whenever there is competition, whenever the substituent gets same number on both the sides, then we have to use prefix rule. By prefix rule, what do we mean? By prefix rule, we mean that we have to follow alphabetical order. We have to follow alphabetical order. We have to follow alphabetical order. Now here we have to follow alphabetical order. See, this is chlorine. This substituent is named as chloro, and this substituent is named as bromo. Now B comes first than chlorine in alphabeticus. Therefore, we have to number the chain from that side where the alphabetical order starts first. Therefore, numbering is done from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bromo is given first number, then chloro, because B comes first in alphabetical letters. That's called a prefix rule. So write down, it's only used to get identical local positions. It is used to get, it is only used when we have identical, we'll discuss these examples later, when we have identical locant positions. If the positions of the locants are identical, for example, carbon, 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 carbon. Over here we have methyl group, and over here we have chloro group. Now see, this is methyl group, it stands with M, and this is chloro group, it stands with C. C comes first, therefore numbering is to be done from this side. Therefore, prefix rule is used only where we have identical position of locants. Position of locants is identical. By identical, I mean that position of locant is 2, 1, 2. Position of locant is 2, 1, 2. In that case, what happens? We are using prefix rule. We are following alphabetical order. Now, before discussing nomenclature of compounds, we have to understand concepts related to it. The concepts related to it are, for naming, what we use? We use word root. Word root indicates the parent chain. Word root is used for the number of carbon atoms in the chain. If the number of carbon atom is 1, if we have carbon atoms, it is used to denote carbon atoms. If the number of carbon atom is 1, then the word root is meth. If the number of carbon atoms is 2, it is eth. When it is 3, it is prop. When the number of carbon atoms in the parent chain is 4, it is but. When it is 5, it is pent. When it is 6, it is hex. When it is 7, it is hept. When it is 8, it is oct. When it is 9, it is non. When it is 10, it is dec. When it is 11, it is undec. When it is 12, it is dodec, like that. Word root indicates the number of carbon atoms in the parent chain. What does word root indicate? Number of carbon atoms in the parent chain. Whatever parent chain you are going to select, the number of carbon atoms in that chain is the word root. If the number of carbon atom is 1, we use meth, 2 is 3 prop, 4 but, 5 pent, 6 hex, 7 hept, 8 oct, 9 non, and 10 dec. Number of carbon atoms in the parent chain. Now before this word root, we use primary prefix and secondary prefix. We use primary prefix. Primary, 1 degree is primary prefix. And before primary prefix, we use secondary prefix. Now what does this primary prefix signify? What is this primary prefix and what is this secondary prefix? Now for naming organic compounds, we use certain terminologies. First, word root. Before word root, we have to use primary prefix, and before primary prefix, we have to use secondary prefix, and after word root, we have to use primary suffix and then secondary suffix. This is the table. I am going to form a table over here later on, which you have to remember. We have a word root. Word root indicates the number of carbon atoms in the parent chain. For example, if we have carbon chain like this is our chain. In this chain of carbon atoms, we have selected the longest possible chain. In this longest possible chain of carbon atoms, there are how many atoms? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This number of carbon atoms is equal to 5. It indicates word root. For 5 carbon atoms, word root is pent. For 5 carbon atoms, word root is pent. Now primary prefix we use for cyclic compounds. If we have a cyclic compound, we use primary prefix cyclo. If we have a bicyclic compound, we use bicyclo. And if we have spiro compound, we use primary prefix spiro. In case of normal chain compounds, these open chain compounds, we do not need to use primary prefix. Primary prefix is used to indicate whether the compound is cyclo, whether the compound is bicyclo, whether the compound is spiro. For example, if we have this type of compound, if we have, we use over here primary prefix first cyclo. For example, this is cyclo. We use cyclo, then the word root. Word root is number of carbon atoms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is cyclohex. And then after we will use primary and secondary prefixes. Word cyclo, word bicyclo, word spiro, they are used as primary prefixes, and primary prefix for open chain compounds, for open chain, it is not generally used. There is no need of this. For open chain, there is no need of primary prefix. Now this is our primary prefix. What we have studied till now? We have studied when we name an organic compound, we first write the word root, that's the number of carbon atoms. Before that, we write primary prefix if it is cyclo or if it is bicyclo. For example, this compound is a bicyclo compound. For bicyclo compound, we first write the prefix bicyclo, and for cyclo compound, we first write the prefix cyclo. For example, this is a cyclic compound, we will write first cyclo. Now the number of carbon atoms 1, 2, 3. 3 carbon atom means word root is prop, that is cycloprop. Similarly, if we have this type of compound, it's a cyclic compound, we use the primary prefix cyclo, then the number of carbon atoms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Word root for 5 is pent. This is pent. And then primary prefix, secondary prefix, we will discuss it later. Now we have secondary prefixes. Secondary prefixes are used to show the side chain. Secondary prefixes are used to show side chain, to indicate side chain. They are represented in alphabetical order. Secondary prefixes are shown in alphabetical order. For example, up to now, if we have a compound like this, now this is an open chain compound. For this open chain compound, we need not to specify. Primary prefix. It is used only for cyclic compounds, bicyclo compounds, spiro compounds. Now what are these cyclo, bicyclo and spiro compounds? We will discuss it in when we practice these names of organic compounds. Now see, what do we mean by secondary prefix? Secondary prefix indicates the side chain. It is used to show the side chain. Now this is a side chain and this is a side chain. Now side chain, for example, let this is CH2, CH3. Side chain is numbered in alphabetical order. Now this is our ethyl group and this is our methyl group. Now ethyl E, this stands for E, this stands for M. Alphabetically E comes first, then M. Therefore we have to use secondary prefix. First ethyl, then methyl. Therefore if we number this chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6 and 7. Numbering is done from that side so that the substituent gets lowest possible number. Then it becomes 2 ethyl, 2 ethyl, 4 methyl. This is second. These two are secondary prefixes. And then 7 carbon atoms. Word root for 7 is hept. Then hept and whatever. Then we have primary and secondary suffixes. We will see those. Now up to now what I have discussed. We have to write word root for different. Word root is the number of carbon atoms in a chain which you select as the parent chain. Then primary prefix. It is used only for cyclo, bicyclo and spiro compounds. Secondary suffixes they are used to show the side chain. They are represented in alphabetical order. Now we have primary prefix. Primary prefix is used to show the bonding between carbon atoms. To show bonding between carbon atoms. To show bonding between carbon atoms means if we have a chain made up of only single carbon atoms, then we use primary suffix as an. And if we have a chain which contains at least one carbon-carbon double bond, then we use primary suffix "-ine". And if we have a compound that contains carbon-carbon triple bond, then we use primary suffix "-ine". Now see, this is a 4 carbon chain, therefore word root for this is but. Now see, it contains only single bonds, therefore it is "-ane". Therefore we name this compound as butane. And this is a 4 carbon compound, therefore its word root is but. But it contains one double bond, therefore we use "-ine". Now this is a 4 carbon atom, therefore word root is but. But it contains one triple bond, therefore we use the primary suffix "-y". That's butane, butene, butane. This is the application of primary suffix. Why do we use primary suffix? Now secondary suffix is used to show main functional groups. It is used to show main functional groups. To show main functional groups. Main functional groups. Now what are these main functional groups? Let us discuss. Main functional groups represented as Fg. Functional groups. If in a parent chain or in a carbon chain you are given functional groups, then you use the word secondary suffix. We will discuss it. Now up to now what we have stated, right? Whenever we are going to name an organic compound, we have to see how many carbon atom chain you are selected. Give the word root for that. For example, pent, hex, hept, what. And if it is cyclic, then use prefix, primary prefix cyclo, bicyclo or spiro. If it is cyclic, then cyclo. If bicyclic, then bicyclo. And if spiro, then if spiral, then spiro. And secondary suffix is used to show substituents in alphabetical order. Then we use primary